There's a quiet change happening in world power. It's not happening through war or force, it's happening through need. And right now, one thing is becoming very clear. America cannot lose India. Not because India needs America, but because America is starting to need India for making things, for technology, for staying safe in the world. And this isn't about being friends or partners. This is about staying strong. In the last few years, we've seen the world's business system break in ways nobody expected. Factories stopped working, ships couldn't move, prices went crazy, and suddenly everyone learned something scary. The world counted on one country for almost everything, and that country was China, not India. For a long time, most of the world's stuff like phones, cars, even medicine came from China. It was fast, cheap, and huge. But when trouble came, world trade fell apart. Ports closed down. The system for getting things from one place to another broke. Companies had to wait months just to get basic parts. That's when big American companies started looking for other places to make their products, and that's where India quietly stepped up. India has the size with over 1.4 billion people. It has the skills with millions of smart engineers, designers, and builders, and most important, it has something China was losing: trust. So America and its companies started moving their work from China to India. It wasn't about feelings, it was about what made sense. Big technology companies like Apple, Google, and Tesla started making their products in India. Right now, Apple makes iPhones in India. Smart people say that 1 out of every 4 iPhones will be made in India by 2025. That's huge. India is now the second biggest phone maker in the world, right behind China. And it's not just phones. It's computer chips, solar panels, electric cars, medicines, and even airplane parts. But here's what makes India different from other places. It's not just cheaper, it's safer to work with. Unlike some other countries, India doesn't create political problems. It doesn't steal ideas from companies. It doesn't use business as a weapon. It just does good work with clear rules and honest dealing that match what modern companies expect. This is why America just can't lose India, because if you take India out of how the world makes and moves things today, you don't just lose one factory, you lose a whole safety system. India gives the world a backup plan, not just for companies, but for whole countries. And here's the amazing thing. India didn't beg for this job. It earned it by being trustworthy, by training smart people, and by staying open when others became closed off. In the next 10 years, almost every American product you buy, from phones to cars to medicines, will probably have some part made in India. Not because someone felt sorry for India, but because India gets things done right. This isn't just about places that make things. This is about India becoming something the world can't do without. And in today's shaky world, no smart country can risk losing something they can't replace. Not even America. The next big war won't use guns or bombs. It will use computer chips and smart machines. Whoever controls the chips controls what happens next. Computer chips, those tiny pieces that make everything from phones to military equipment work, are the heart of our digital world. Without them, there's no smart technology, no fast internet, no electric cars, no military tech, no super fast computers, and right now the world doesn't make enough of them. That's a big problem, especially for America. Today, most computer chips are made in just a few places: Taiwan, South Korea, Japan. Taiwan alone makes over 60% of the world's best chips, but Taiwan sits in a dangerous spot. If something bad happens there, either from politics or fighting, the whole world's technology could stop working overnight. That's why America is now looking for another place that's safer, more stable, and can make lots of chips. And once again, everyone is looking at India. India might not be the biggest chip maker yet, but here's what makes India powerful in this race: smart people, trust, and perfect timing. Over 20% of the world's chip designers come from India. Some of the smartest chips in iPhones, Tesla cars, and powerful computers are designed in Indian cities like Bangalore and Hyderabad. Big companies like Micron, AMD, and Applied Materials are already building billion-dollar chip factories in India. These aren't just small moves to look good. These are big changes in strategy because India is one of the few countries where you can find trained, smart people ready to grow fast, a government willing to help pay for chip factories, and a safe place to protect new ideas and technology. The partnership between America and India on important new technology is already pushing joint work in areas like smart machines, superfast computers, defense technology, and computer chips. It's not about one country helping another. It's about building the future together. Let's talk about smart machines now. Smart technology needs chips. Smart technology needs computer power. And smart technology needs trained minds. India has all three. It has one of the biggest groups of smart technology experts in the world, second only to America. It's building its own smart computer systems using Indian languages. And it's starting smart technology labs for healthcare, farming, and climate help at huge scale and fast speed. For America, this matters because the next step of smart technology is not just about computers. It's about countries working together. You need partners you can trust. Partners who respect data safety, privacy, doing the right thing. And again, India fits because unlike countries run by dictators, India builds technology within a system where people have a say in government. That's rare and that's valuable. So here's the point. The race for computer chips and smart machines isn't just about equipment, it's about partnerships. Long-term, reliable, honest partnerships. And when it comes to that, America can't leave India out. Because in a world run by computer code and chips, India is becoming the power behind the power. The future runs on batteries, not oil, and batteries need special materials. That means whoever controls these special materials controls the clean energy future. The world is moving away from oil, coal, and gas. It's moving towards sun power, wind power, clean hydrogen, and electric cars. But to build this clean future, you need materials like lithium, cobalt, nickel, copper, and rare earth metals. Here's the problem. These materials aren't found everywhere. And even where they are, they're often controlled by very few countries. For example, China controls more than 60% of the world's rare earth processing. Congo supplies over 70% of the world's cobalt, and South America holds over half the world's lithium. Now, here's where India comes in. India doesn't have the biggest supplies, but it's building strong relationships to get these materials, especially working with America. Let me explain. India has recently made deals with countries like Australia, Namibia, Chile, and Argentina to get long-term access to lithium, copper, and other rare minerals. This is important for America because America wants to depend less on China for important materials. So India becomes a bridge, a trusted partner that gets minerals from reliable democracies and delivers them through safe, honest supply chains. But it doesn't stop there. India is also building the ability to process and refine these materials, something even rich countries struggle with. It's putting money into battery recycling, electric car production, and mineral technology. In fact, India is on track to become a world clean energy center. Let's talk about green hydrogen, the clean fuel of the future. Hydrogen can power factories, ships, and even aircraft with zero bad emissions, and India is betting big on it. India plans to make 5 million tons of green hydrogen by 2030. Major Indian companies like Reliance, Adani, and NTPC are putting billions of dollars into hydrogen technology. America is already working with India on hydrogen infrastructure, research, and exports. Why does this matter? Because America wants to lead the world's move to clean energy, but it can't do it alone. It needs allies who are growing fast, staying stable, and sharing technology. And India checks all three boxes. It's also about cost. India builds renewable energy infrastructure cheaper than most countries. Solar power in India is among the lowest cost in the world. That makes it a key player in making green energy affordable for everyone, including American companies looking to invest in other countries. So here's the takeaway. India isn't just helping America go green. It's helping the world get clean, affordable, and secure energy at huge scale. And in a world that's moving from fossil fuels to electric futures, India is like a new oil well. That's why America and the world simply can't afford to lose it. Geography doesn't change, but the way you use it changes everything. And India's location might be its most underrated power. If you look at a world map, India sits in the center of the most important region of the 21st century, the Indo-Pacific. This region stretches from the eastern coast of Africa to the western shores of America, including the Middle East, Southeast Asia, and Australia. Nearly 65% of world trade flows through these waters. More than half the world lives here, and almost every major power from America to China is trying to shape what happens here. India sits right at the heart of it. It controls major sea routes, island chains, and narrow waterways like the Strait of Malacca and the Indian Ocean routes. In simple terms, if anything moves through the Indo-Pacific, it either passes through India's area of influence or near it. That's powerful. Now, America has global reach, no doubt, but in this region, it needs local partners who are stable, trusted, and able to keep the seas open, the trade routes safe, and the regional balance in check. And India is one of the only countries that can do this without being part of a formal military alliance. That's what makes India different, not a military base, not an outpost. It's a civilization power with its own weight, and that carries more influence than aircraft carriers ever could. Let's look at the numbers. India has the fourth most powerful navy in the world. It's developing blue water capability, meaning it can project power far beyond its own shores. It has active naval partnerships with Japan, Australia, France, and America, but still follows its own plan, not anyone else's. India also has strong diplomatic ties across the region with ASEAN countries like Vietnam and Indonesia, with Africa's eastern seaboard, and with Gulf states like UAE and Saudi Arabia. This gives India something rare, horizontal trust. It can talk to everyone without taking sides. In today's divided world, that kind of trust is gold. Now, America knows this. That's why it doesn't try to control India. It respects India, because India doesn't need to shout to be heard. It just needs to stand where it already is, at the center of world trade, security, and diplomacy. So here's the strategic truth. America may have more aircraft carriers, but India has something else: presence and patience. And in the Indo-Pacific, presence and patience win long-term influence. That's why losing India isn't just about losing a friend. It's about losing the center of gravity in the most important region on Earth. Most countries are getting older, their economies are slowing down, their workforces are shrinking, but there's one nation getting younger and smarter at the same time. That nation is India. By 2025, India will have the largest working age population in the world, over 900 million people under the age of 35. That's not just a number, that's momentum. And in a world driven by innovation, scale, and speed, this kind of population is a strategic advantage. Let's put this into context. The United States, like Europe, is aging fast. By 2030, 1 in 5 Americans will be over 65. That means fewer workers, more healthcare costs, and slower growth. At the same time, new technologies like SMA, RT machines, robots, biotechnology, and quantum computing are expanding rapidly. So here's the challenge. Who's going to build, manage, and lead these systems? That's where India comes in. India produces over 1 million engineers every year. It has the second largest number of science and technology graduates in the world, right behind China. And most importantly, it's producing talent that thinks globally but builds locally. Look at the American tech industry today. From Google to Microsoft, from Adobe to IBM, Indian-born CEOs are leading billion-dollar companies. This isn't luck. This is a pattern, and America knows it. That's why American universities actively recruit Indian students. That's why American companies set up research and development labs in Bangalore, Hyderabad, Pune, and Noida. They're not outsourcing. They're co-developing the future with Indian minds. But it's not just elite talent. India is also training millions of young people in smart technology, data science, and digital finance through government-backed programs like Skill India and Digital India. This creates a pipeline of next-generation creators, analysts, and engineers who are ready to plug directly into the global economy. And here's something important. Indian talent doesn't just build, it adapts, it scales, it leads. This is why for America, losing access to Indian talent, whether in Silicon Valley or in India itself, would be a major setback, because innovation isn't just about funding. It's about people and trust and vision, and India has all three in abundance. Let's also not forget the diaspora. Over 4.4 million Indian Americans live in the United States, one of the most educated and successful immigrant groups. They are scientists, doctors, entrepreneurs, and policymakers shaping America from the inside out. So the next time someone says talent is the new oil, just remember India is sitting on the richest reserve. And that's why America and the world can't afford to ignore it. Sometimes the most powerful revolutions don't look like revolutions. They start quietly in computer code, not chaos, in transactions, not treaties. And right now, one of the biggest tech revolutions in the world is happening in India. Let's talk about UPI, the Unified Payments Interface. In simple words, it's a digital system that lets anyone in India send or receive money instantly, securely, and for free using just a smartphone, no credit card, no bank visit, just a tap. You might think, okay, sounds useful. But here's what makes it historic. In May 2024, India processed over 11.4 billion UPI transactions in a single month. That's more than the entire population of the planet every 3 days. No country, not even America or China, has built a public payment system that is this fast, this scalable, and this accessible. And here's the big point. UPI isn't owned by a private company. It's public infrastructure. That means it belongs to the people, not to corporations. This is the model the world is watching. Countries like France, Singapore, UAE, Bhutan, and even Japan are now partnering with India to implement or link with UPI-style systems. In America, big banks and fintech companies are studying UPI to understand how to build faster, fairer, and cheaper financial systems, especially for people left out of traditional banking. India has proven something important. You don't need to be the richest country to build the smartest system. You just need to think differently. But UPI is just one piece. India's digital public infrastructure includes Aadhaar biometric digital ID with over 1.3 billion people enrolled, DigiLocker cloud storage for official documents, CoWin, a vaccine distribution tech used by WHO as a global model, ONDC, an open source e-commerce network competing with Amazon-like platforms, account aggregators empowering citizens to control their own data. Together, this forms a digital backbone that's inclusive, scalable, and open source. In short, India is not just building digital tools, it's building digital democracy. Let's look at some facts. India has close ties with the United States through trade, defense, education, and technology. At the same time, it continues healthy relationships with Russia, Iran, and China, often acting as a communication bridge. It's a member of BRICS, a partner in Quad, and a voice in the global South all at once. Very few countries can manage this level of diplomacy and still remain respected on all sides. So why does this matter